I get a lot of comments of people who say things like, I want to do what you do, or I wish I could do that too, or the world needs more people like you. And for me, the subtext to those comments is always something along the lines of, man, I really want to be doing that too, but I don't know how. I don't feel like I can. I don't feel like I'm qualified. I feel powerless. I, at the beginning, was a very shy and angry vegan, or yearned to being vegan or so. I was driving down the Southwest, and as we were driving down this country road, I remember seeing this huge lot with a bunch of cows, and immediately I told my friend to stop the car. I jumped the fence, I go all the way up to the cows, and for whatever reason, a bunch of the cows came towards me. That was the first time that I really saw cows in real life. And I don't just mean seeing them visually, I mean seeing them for who they are. I remember I looked them in the eyes, I tried my best to connect with them, and I remember feeling this really heavy desperation. Like I knew that in a few minutes I would have to leave this place, and I couldn't take them with me, I couldn't save them, and I knew they were all going to be killed. And that was so devastating. As we were driving away, I remember I started crying uncontrollably. I mean, this was crazy. I mean, I couldn't stop crying. I remember turning towards the window, and even though I was crying, I was trying to suppress it at the same time, and I didn't want them to see me crying because I was partly embarrassed. I wasn't as vulnerable back then as I am today, but also I thought that they might think I'm crazy, that I'm making a big deal out of this. Like, I just thought that they would judge me for caring so much about animals. And what I felt from that experience was so lonely. I was like, man, I guess I am the only one who feels this way. And I told myself, you know what, this is a problem that's way too big for one person to solve. I had suppressed my feelings of love towards animals. I'd suppressed my feelings of wanting to save animals. That's really how I felt. That's why I became vegan in the first place. I wanted to save animals. And I was just like, I guess I'm vegan for ethical reasons, but that's it. I'm not gonna be loud about it. I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna go live my life and do my thing. In essence, I thought that I was a piece of shit. And because I was a piece of shit, there's no way I could do anything to save animals. What was missing from me is I didn't acknowledge myself. I didn't acknowledge my greatness. I didn't love myself. And because I refused to love myself, animals were dying on my watch. That's really what was happening. It was really painful to realize this, but that was the moment that I was like, I gotta go for this.
I really believe the question that we all should ask ourselves is this: what will I do today to create animal liberation? What will I do today so that someone goes vegan in the world because of what I did? What will I do today so that 100 people go vegan today because of what I did? These things are possible. Like, how many fucking people do you think are going vegan every single day because of what Kip Anderson did? Or Earthling Ed? Or James Aspey? Or Paul Bashir and Asal from Anonymous for the Voiceless? Like, it's like, these things are possible. Why can't we all be that? That is what I think we should strive for. Because imagine if we all did that. If we all made the kind of difference that these people made. Because that's possible. So fuck it if it's possible, let's fucking do it.
Now, I make videos that reach people all around the world. My videos have been seen millions of times, shared like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of times. I don't really keep track, maybe I should, I don't know, but I get messages every day from people whose lives I've impacted in a positive way. I'm not saying this to brag, even though I guess it is bragging, but I'm saying this to illustrate that you can do this. You can be the voice for the animals that you see yourself being. You can be that voice for the animals that makes a difference in other people's lives, in the lives of animals. And there are many different ways to do it. You can do it through education like me. You can become an organizer. You can do food. There's so many different things that you can do to help animals. But whatever difference you want to make for the animals, you can go do that. And what it's going to take is a vision and a commitment to that vision. And then from there, daily action to make that happen. And if that's your calling, you should do that. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to the animals. I mean, you owe it to the animals to be the voice for them that you envision yourself to be. Because if you're still listening to this, then you probably do resonate with this message. You probably want to be a voice for the animals. But maybe you're not speaking up for them as much as you would like to. Well, if that's the case, then it's time to step it up.
The animal liberation movement is one of the greatest social justice movements in history.
We can't just hope. We can't just dream. We can't just wish. We must act.
Let's keep fighting, doing whatever it takes to ensure that every last animal suffering on this earth is rescued and given the safe and happy and free life that she or he or they deserve. Are you with me?
The last thing I want to leave you with is 3 things that I would focus on in 2020 to help you become a more effective, more powerful, impactful voice for the animals. The first thing is community. When you're alone and everyone around you is friends, family who are not vegan, who don't see the point of what you're doing, who don't want to speak up for animals, then it's very difficult to be that one person who is really out there speaking up for animals. But when you put yourself around people who are doing that on a daily basis, it becomes normal. And it empowers you to move forward, to speak up for animals, to push yourself. The second thing is focus on learning. Learn things that are gonna help you become a better voice for the animals. You know, if you're like me, you wanna make videos, then maybe you'll wanna learn how to become a better speaker, become a better communicator, understand how to use cameras, understand how social media works. If you wanna be an organizer, learn how to become a leader. Talk to people who have done what you want to do. And the third thing is spending more time with animals and get to know them. See them for who they are, learn to connect with them. You know, it's one thing to logically understand that animals are not commodities and that we shouldn't exploit them. It's another thing to have formed genuine connections with cows and chickens and pigs and goats and turkeys, and seeing them as friends. It gives you that drive and you won't back down when you're talking to people because you know who you're speaking up for, right? So those are the 3 things that I would focus on. Again, community, learning, spending time with animals. I think that if you just focus on those 3 things in 2020, you will be an incredible voice for the animals. And again, I believe in you, and